you young girls what nobody's gonna tell you. You got 3 kids at 24 years old. You're getting ready to struggle.
Hey, it's me. I'm her. I'm the girl that she's talking about in the video.
You guys, this is another single mom crashing out. I feel like we just did one of recent. And this is another single mom crashing out. This particular single mom overdosed due to she's tired, she's stressed, a lot of work, and she has 3 kids. She's handling it by herself. She's talking about how difficult it is to be a mom, how you're not going to have your time, how you're not going to have time for yourself, how it's so exhausting. And she's also trying to advise women not to have kids because there is no point, because you're going to like stress and all of that. It is so difficult for mothers these days, especially single moms, and I like the fact that they're coming out to talk about it. They're saying out the quiet part out loud for everybody to see, because some people are always like wishing, oh, I just want to have a child, I just want to have a child, just because they really don't know what it takes if you're actually doing this by yourself. So I'm going to roll this video for you all to watch, then we'll come back and discuss.
Tell you young girls what nobody's gonna tell you. You got 3 kids at 24 years old. You're getting ready to struggle. You're getting ready to cry. You're getting ready to be depressed. You're getting ready to want to
Hey, it's me. I'm her. I'm the girl that she's talking about in the video. I'm not specifically, I don't know her. She doesn't know me. So she's not talking about me, but I can relate. I'm 23 and I have 3 kids and I'm struggling. This shit is not peaches and rainbows. This shit is hard. I would not wish this life on my worst enemy. The life that you pictured and had and wanted and was promised, is you're not going to get it, babe. Let it go. Some people do get lucky and they have men that stick around or have this big village. A lot of us aren't lucky like that. Like I said, I have friends that could drop their baby off to anybody. Guess what? They got 1 baby or 2 babies. I have 3 kids. Don't nobody want to watch 3 kids, 3 little babies that still need their diaper change. Nobody want to do it. Sorry. Everybody, that was when you was pregnant. Oh, I'm going to get the baby. I'm going to do this for the baby. What are people at? Them people don't give no. Like she said, there's going to be times when you off yourself. Y'all, look at this. Literally. I stayed in the hospital for a whole week because I had an overdose. I overdosed because I literally did not want to be here no more. I didn't have a post for 11 something, almost 12 minutes, because I didn't want to be here. I felt like this is it's not worth being here, because guess what? Yes, I cry myself to sleep most nights. Most nights I am stressed. My hair's falling out. Y'all have videos. I'm gonna answer them if y'all want to see them, but I should not be 23, literally brushing my hair to the point my shit falling. I gotta keep cutting my hair. This is not the life I wish on my worst enemy. And yes, this shit get ugly. And yes, I post, and yes, all that. But behind closed doors, this shit is ugly as hell. I would not wish this shit on nobody at all. Like she said, don't have no kids. Love is not enough. These don't give no. They don't care. And I have 1 baby daddy. I don't have multiple baby. I have 1 baby daddy. I don't give a. Be around when it's beneficial. Be around when the shit going, when he feel like when he need me. That's what it really is. As long as I'm accepting the bare minimum, we cool. And it feel like for me, on the flip end of that, I be accepting the bare minimum and the little pieces of shit, because I just be wanting help. Because guess what? I don't got no big village of people that's gonna come and stuff for me and my kids. So I'm accepting the littlest piece of shit over nothing just for help. Because guess what? When I ain't accepting that, the next gone, disappear. Where the kid now? On with the next bitch and her kid. It's really mind blowing to me. And only thing I gotta say is y'all listen to her. This shit is really hard. Nobody cares. The same you land on your back for, don't even give you eating at night. Same that you doing all this for can't even help you and your kids move. Like, y'all, some people do get lucky. Some people, like I said, some people get lucky, and some people do have this fantasy life, and some people get lucky and blessed with good men. But y'all, it's not worth it. Look at me. I look a mess right now. That's what I'm doing. I just dropped my kids off at daycare. I still have to go home and unpack because they can't just be anywhere. But guess what? I also need to DoorDash and make some because my tank is on E. Like, it's hard. Don't nobody want to hire me because I can't work on weekends because I have nobody to keep my kids. I can't stay past certain times because guess what? My kids have to be picked up at a certain time or they're going to charge me for it. And guess who's going to pay the late fees? Nobody but me. It's hard, y'all. It's hard. I would not wish this on nobody. Y'all, them kids. Fuck kids. And if you got 1 kids. Stop at the one kid. This shit is too, this society, this life is too hard to be having 3 kids with no help. I would not wish this on nobody. Like I said, look at me. All the extra money I get, it ain't going to get my nails done. It ain't going to get my hair done. I do that shit by myself. And guess what? I barely have time to do that. So it be feeling like, I don't know. Just listen to her and listen to me. If you like, because I was reading the comments, some of them was saying, oh, you're not 23 though, you don't know how it is, you don't have 3 kids, you don't have 4 kids. Well, look, I do, and I'm telling you, all that shit that y'all talking, no, she's telling the truth. You're about to struggle, you're about to be depressed. Just don't have no kids, y'all. Just take it from me, don't have no kids. I have 3 kids. I'm struggling. This shit is not peaches and rainbows. This shit is,
In as much as they usually talk about how having a child is a gift from God and is something very special. When you have kids, the house is blissful, there's blessing that comes with it and all of that. Nobody want to really talk about the hard work, because even if you leave a lot of mothers in a room and tell them that if you go back in time, would you do this again? They'll be afraid to say no, because they don't want to be pictured as if they're bad moms or they hate their kids. They don't want people to see them as if they're not enjoying their mother, because that is something that was promised to women, right? You see people say that once you become a mom, you understand what it is to love, you understand love, you understand so many things. Like they always like preach that pregnancy, be a mom, have many children, for women. And that is the only thing that most women are always looking forward to, especially within marriage as well. So, of course, they want you to get married and, have the kids and all of that. So, when you now do all of that, then you see that that does not even guarantee you even being happy, because you having so many children, you getting pregnant or getting married and all of that does not guarantee your happiness. And that was just all a lie. So if you kind of put a lot of women in a room and ask them, would you go back in time? The ones that want to be honest with you, they'll tell you, see, I'm not going to have any children. I'm not going to have any children. The ones that, they'll still say, I know it's worth it after all. But really, when they tell you the deep things that they are going through, how difficult it is to raise kids these days, you'll feel pity for them. So I have free reaction on this video. Let's watch these videos together. Then we'll come back and talk about it.
But I don't get it though. I don't get it. Because this uno, dos, tres came out of a kitty cat. They came out of a kitty cat. So after uno, he said, dos. After dos, I would have said, doctor, okay, please tie it. It looks like my head is not correct. Tie it. Shit, after uno, I would have tied it. Because if you don't have up to $80,000 in your bank account, savings, not spending, savings, you should not be thinking about having a baby in 2025 or even 24 or 23. If you don't have money put aside, you should not be thinking about having a kid. I don't know if that's crazy, but that's how I'm thinking. Because you can barely make ends meet for yourself. So I understand the process as to which these packages are being delivered is a sweet process. And trust me, I know it's quite an interesting process. But it's 2025 and technology has come up with many ways to avoid the package to be delivered. So if ordered the package is in transit, there are many ways you can say, Amazon, cancel my order. I don't want the order again. And I'm sorry to say that I've not canceled any order. Let's not talk about it. But there are a lot of ways to avoid the package to be delivered. Package has not delivered. You now order the package 3 times. Now you're not complaining. I'm sorry. Everyone is entitled to complain, but I don't get it. And I'm entitled to my own opinion. You'll get it. It's not in this economy. We're all living in the same America. If you don't have money, if it's not, yo, okay, I don't want to understand it. Okay, if I understand, I don't want to understand. It's crazy. It's so crazy. Okay, bye.
23 and I have 3 kids and I'm struggling. This shit is not peaches and rainbows. This shit is hard.
Girl, go ahead with that, miss. You in the hospital for a whole week because you tried to overdose. Well, she did overdose, but she tried to take her own life. What happens to those kids if you're not here? I'm quite sure the dads are not as involved because, you know, we actually have help. It's not as stressful, but it's never to the point to where you want to harm yourself. And if you're like that, God knows how you'll be around those kids. You ever see it on TV? Homicide, suicide? Like, no. If y'all like this, y'all definitely don't need kids. She was already like this on her first child. Now she wants to get online and talk about, oh, now I got 3 kids. This is what I'm saying. It's already stressful having kids, and you know you got your own issues. OD on what exactly? Like, y'all don't hear people. They already got their own issues, and then they want to have kids. It's a no. I don't feel sorry for her. I feel bad for those kids because she really didn't care about where her kids would go after that. If the dad's not involved, they go into the system. So let's not do that. We're going to be big girls. We're going to be grown women, be mature about it. No, we don't have help. It's nobody else's responsibility but ours and the guy we made it with. So if he's not involved, he's not involved. That's what you signed up for. Raising those kids is the only way y'all will stop having them out of wedlock. Unless there's really something wrong with you. And if you think ODing to trying to take your life is an option, something's wrong with you. Those kids need you. They need their mother to be alive. So if you really think that that is what you want to do, don't do it. You don't need a hotline. A lot of y'all are just selfish. You had those kids and now you want to take your own life. That doesn't make any sense. And don't ever try to blame it on postpartum. Postpartum is an emotional feeling. It's never nothing that involves violence. No drugs, none of that. None of that. It's like being just tired. You look in the mirror like, oh my gosh, my body is just changing. You know, it's a beautiful experience, but it's just different now. You're never going to want to OD. So for me to see this is very sad. And I just recommend women to just get fixed. Y'all think y'all want kids until y'all have them, and then you end up like her. Don't have no kids out of wedlock. When you're married, nobody cares. Okay? If you know you're a single mother in a marriage, you should not be having kids. If you know you're going to have help in a marriage, have those kids. If you know you're not going to have help, last thing you need to do is have any kids. So, don't be like this woman because she needs Jesus at this point. Let's just say it.
I'm 23 and I have 3 kids. I'm struggling. This shit is not peaches and rainbows. This shit is hard. I would not wish this life on my worst enemy.
You are just selfish. You had those kids and now you want to take your own life? That doesn't make any sense. You don't ever try to blame it on postpartum. Postpartum is an emotional feeling, and then you end up like her.
Postpartum is not just an emotion, but even if it were, think about all of our emotions that drive us to our behaviors today. Like you mentioned drugs and violence, and a lot of people do drugs because they're trying to escape their reality. Think about trauma. They no longer want to feel, so they want to feel numb. Or people who commit violence, they want to feel more in control if they're feeling powerless. You're a mom that's had 2 children, so I know you understand. After you have children, your progesterone, estrogen, your oxytocin, and your cortisol all drop. And cortisol and oxytocin, if you're not familiar, those are the neurotransmitters that are responsible for your stress. That's the love hormone. Without those, your anxiety skyrockets. Depression is easily come. And I think I'm shocked because you guys are the same age, and the fact that you have 2 different fathers for your children, and she actually has 1 father for all 3 children, I thought you would have given her more grace. I don't know what you constitute as a good reason for people to attempt suicide or even complete it, but it sounds like this woman was feeling hopeless. And again, many people who end up completing or attempting suicide are looking for a way to get out of that hopelessness feeling. I think you're also considering baby blues, which normally happens within 2 to 3 days of women having babies, when you're trying to establish some kind of routine or a normalcy, and especially after if you lost your identity and now you just become a mom. Who are you now? But that usually lasts just a few weeks. But postpartum depression, postpartum rage, postpartum anxiety, and postpartum psychosis are very real. And I think you're Gen Z, which is the craziest part, because When I first saw your video, I was sure you're a millennial to be responding with shaming and judgment. Because in my mind, I'm also like, hey, if you can't afford a plan B, you can't afford a child. But I think if we probably responded with more empathy, I appreciate people who are more vulnerable, because her story probably inspired others to also speak out when they need help. It's very strange when people like this speak out, and then when they end up hurting themselves, everyone's like, well, what were we supposed to do? Well, they were crying for help. I did take a look at your page, and it looks like overall you can be very controversial with your content, but I do appreciate the fact that you highlight child safety, which is something I also do on my platform. So again, maybe if we can just consider giving more people empathy, because I feel like people flock to TikTok more than any other platform in order to be vulnerable and to have the support. Like right now, she has a GoFundMe that she's already raised half the money that she needs for a car that someone else had to push her to do because her pride just would not allow her to do so in the first place. And to that mama, thank you for sharing your story and your experience, because I feel like a lot of people need to hear it, even though it was very hard and it only makes you a bigger target for criticism.
For me as well, when I see women that have 3 children, I kind of feel like it's very intentional that she decided to have 3 children. It was not a mistake, right? If you see someone that has 1 child, you can, and they tell you it's a mistake, or they didn't know they were pregnant, you understand. 2, I don't know. But you see 3, I don't see 3 as a mistake. I usually say this, I don't see 3 as a mistake, because when you had the one and you kind of tested the motherhood for like few months, you went all over again, because some women have their kids back to back. Some women can have three kids in 3 years without them not even understanding what it is to be a mom. They just feel like, oh, I just want to rush and do everything and get back to my shape, or try to go for surgery and get my body back and all of that. So they try to pump their children back to back, thinking that is the best, right? So if you have the first child and you kind of tasted the motherhood thing, you tasted it, and you still went ahead for number 2, then you did the number 2 again and you tested it and you went for number 3. I feel like having 3 is very intentional, but that does not mean that you are not allowed to, have struggles of motherhood and all that. In fact, it affects them the most, right? And most of the time, women, we don't really listen to advice. We don't really listen. So because women don't really listen to advice, women prefer to experience it by themselves. You see, we are talking about, people are saying, advising you, do not get pregnant, don't get married, don't do this, be careful, do. You see some women still come and say, no, my whole pregnancy is going to be blissful. I'm going to be a happy mom. They want to really experience it and try to feel like they don't really learn from people's experiences. Women don't really, for me, I feel like women don't really learn from people's experiences. They always want to experience it by themselves. So that's why most of the time we're still going to see a lot of women coming out to say, oh, and nobody told me it was this bad. Well, I know people are saying it's this bad, but nobody told me it was this bad. Before now, a lot of people don't come out to talk about how terrible it is to be a mom. People don't come out to talk about it. It's like a taboo. When you go to places whereby there are pregnant women there, and probably say a woman that already, she's not pregnant, she has already had children, and you kind of ask the one that has experienced the whole labor thing, how was it? She will just tell you, oh, labor is very sweet. It feels like menstrual pain. It is not so painful. They don't really tell you what you go through. They don't even tell you that, see, pregnancy is just there. The hard work is after these children come out of your stomach. That is when you start doing the work. They won't even tell you, just tell you, don't worry. You got to, they just, they won't tell you the truth, right? So now women are now opening up to say the truth. Like, see, it is not sweet. It is painful. I do not forget. I remember every detail. I remember every, because I'll tell you, you forget when you put to bed, you forget the old pain, you forget once you see a bundle of joy, boom, everything is all over the lie. You're still going to remember, you're still going to feel, in fact, if you remember, you can still feel how that stuff was paining you and all of that. So is now women are now coming to talk about the whole pain, the whole struggle, or even after you put to bed, how difficult it is to be with a partner that is not supportive, how difficult it is to also be a single mother in your married home. In fact, if you even have a child outside wedlock, it is very difficult for you to have a child with a baby daddy that does not even pay child support, or that is not there. So many things. Women are not coming out to talk about it, and which is supposed to allow other women to see, women that have not started, gotten to this stage to start getting pregnant and all of that, to learn from experience. But then I personally feel like most women don't want to listen, because once you keep telling them, they feel like, I still want to experience it. And my own is not going to be like that. And so I understand whereby when they say women do not really listen when you give them advice. This giving birth and all of this that we're talking about, when I say women do not listen, a woman that her husband is physically abusing her, mentally abusing her, cheating and all of that, this woman will still get pregnant in her next circle. She's still pregnant. In fact, she'll be talking about how she just put to bed how her husband was even beating her in the last pregnancy. She will still get pregnant again. So sometimes when some women come to talk about these things and they're trying to advise, I just wish and hope most women can listen, because these things they were not like this before. They were not like this before. Women were afraid to talk about their struggle, their pain. Hardly will you see a woman that will come out to start talking about how her husband is physically abusing her and she's still pregnant. Yada yada. It's very difficult. You see them holding on to that pain and be praying and all of that. But now we are seeing so many experiences. In fact, a lot of people are now even understanding that this marriage thing is not even all that, because a lot of people are now coming out to really say, oh, we look like we're smiling, but this is what we're facing underneath. People say that there are healthy marriages and there are supportive partners, there are good men out there. Nobody's saying there are not good men out there. Nobody's saying that there are not healthy marriages or healthy partners or healthy relationship out there. But what are the percentage? Right? If you're looking at healthy marriage and the one that is not healthy, the toxic one, how many marriages are you going to count that is toxic? How many are going to count that is healthy? Right? The percentage is very, So most people that are in marriages are suffering. They are not happy. Most mothers are regretful. Right? Most of them, in fact, if you see an older woman that is already a grandma and you ask her that what's one thing you will never do if you go back in time, they'll tell you, I don't want to have a child. I wish I stopped at number one. I wish I never got married to the man I got married to. Like, so many these things are always about marriage and children, because this thing changes your lifestyle forever. Once you have a child, just one, it changes everything for you forever. You cannot unhave those children. So once you have one, you wait and think before you have the second one. Make sure you're doing it for yourself. I feel like at the end of the day, if you want to get pregnant and have kids, nobody's stopping you. But make sure you're doing it for yourself, not for society, not for pressure, not to prove anybody right or wrong, or not just because you're getting older, or just because you're afraid that you'll not be able to conceive at a certain age. Make sure you're doing it because you're really, really ready. You're doing it for yourself. But with that, you're going to enjoy motherhood. Like, you're really going to enjoy motherhood. Make sure you are financially stable. Very important, because these days is things are very expensive if you're raising children. So you have to think about finance as well. So adding so many children back to back, or you're thinking, oh, let me just pump 3 at once and later on I'll figure it out. You might end up regretting, you might end up not figuring it out anyway. It might take you years to bounce back later after having those children back. But let's not even talk about the risk of doing that, because risk of having children back to back is very high for women. You can lose your life, you can lose so many things, right? So I just feel like women should listen to this advice. And of course, she can overdose due to depression, postpartum depression. Postpartum depression can make you do anything. Can make you do anything. You can even want to unalive your child if you're going through postpartum depression. But then postpartum depression varies. It might vary in your first child, your second child, your third one. It depends. So I guess what the first creator was saying, that she should have stopped at number one if she wanted, or if she saw that it was very difficult. Most of the time, they were still lying to themselves. Most women that have 4, 5 children, they were still lying to themselves, and they feel like they can, keep pumping and have so many children like that. Anyway, you guys, what is your take on this video? Kindly share your thought down in the comment section. Respectfully, as always, Sugar Mary Davis, and thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this one. Please like and share and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.